This shouldn't be really your primary strategy. This is great for identifying and finding ideas that you might not be leveraging. So it's a great gap filler.
I am your host, Tyler Dolph, the CEO of our digital marketing agency called Rocket Clicks. We work exclusively with family law firms across the country. And today I have the co founder of our law firm, Sterling Lawyers, with me, Tony Carls. He is both the co founder of our law firm and also the president of our agency. He is joined along with James Patterson. James runs our entire paid media team here at the agency, and we are going to deep dive paid search today. We're going to talk about the 4 essential types of paid search campaigns your firm should be running, each designed to capture a different type of traffic depending on where they're at in your search funnel, and whether you're defending your turf or reacting your brand clients. These campaigns will help you convert more clicks into more clients. Whether you're defending your turf or reaching brand new clients, these campaigns will help you convert more clicks into more clients. I hope you enjoy. All right, guys, we're talking paid media today. We're going to talk paid media campaign types. So, James, I know there's a lot of different campaigns that we leverage in our clients here at Rocket Clicks to help their law firms grow. And Tony, you built out kind of the roadmap and playbook for this based on the success at Sterling. Let's start from the top. Let's start from the beginning. I know there's kind of 4 major paid search campaigns that we like to leverage. James, why don't you give us an overview of the first one, which is the brand campaigns?
Yeah, for sure. Brand campaigns are definitely a really great campaign to have within your ad account strategy. Reason for that is especially for law firms that are investing heavily in upper funnel strategies. So getting their brand name out there, it's another opportunity to obviously capitalize on that search when it's coming in. Um, One of the things that we talk to with other family law firms is like, well, why do I need a brand campaign if I'm already ranking well for obviously branded search organically? And the thing we always like to talk about there is one of the advantages of brand campaign and paid search is not only is your cost per click and cost per lead extremely affordable, you get to actually control the messaging in your ad creative as well as the landing page, right? So a lot of times when you're looking at branded search organically, you're going to be going just to the homepage and things like that. With brand campaign, you're actually able to drive users to a dedicated landing page. If you have a unique offer that you're putting out there for paid media audiences specifically, it's another opportunity to call that out in your search ad copy. So it's a really great way to better target those users that are coming in. Um, Another thing we see a lot is competitors bidding on your own brand name. We'll actually, not to tease, we'll talk a little bit about that here in a moment. It's another good way to just make sure that you're holding down the fort. You will always have ad rank advantage over competitors bidding on your brand name. So again, it's really a no-brainer in a lot of ways to make sure you're getting that coverage, getting the right messaging, and ultimately best experience to your users searching for you.
Now, Tony, every now and then we get a client that says, "Well, why would I bid on my own brand? I already show up, on the first listing organically." What do you say to that?
Similar to what James just mentioned, I think the biggest point is when you bid on your own brand, your ability to get a massive search landscape advantage is not insignificant. So there's a couple types of ads that you'll see when you're searching on paid search. Most of the time, they're all equivalent in terms of size. But when you have a really high ad rank against your competitors and you're winning in that metric in campaigns, your landscape significantly shifts and you get a big, huge ad block at the top of the page. Your competitor then may not show at all, or it might be a lot smaller, kind of diminishing the point of their ad. So it's a really good opportunity. And then the other part is cost. Like this is going to be one of the most cost effective campaigns that you'll run online. So if you have a brand that you've been investing in or just building organically through service over the course of 20 years, really owning that and taking advantage of the cost savings through these types of campaigns and making sure you get that traffic is really helpful because these are going to be, you know, two, three, $4 clicks at most comparatively to, you know, divorce lawyer keyword, a family lawyer keyword. It's going to cost you, depending on the marketplace, $35 to $55 a click. So that it's a very different experience. So if you're investing in brand, it's a great opportunity. We were running affiliate stuff. We loved when we got that in our contract because we knew we could do better landing pages, better experience than the big corporates. And same is true here. Like you can customize and tailor the user experience, and drive better results.
Yeah, my favorite part of that is like you are the most authoritative answer to your brand. So why not be there and take advantage of it? James, you teased our second campaign type, which is competitor campaigns. So I think we see this all the time in our space, other competitors bidding on their competitors' keywords and trying to show up for their search terms. How do we think about competitor campaigns?
Yeah, competitor campaigns can definitely be very effective. It's not generally going to be a leading strategy within your mix of campaign keyword intents across your ad account, but you can definitely get some good results with some good strategy and creativity here. So we just obviously talked a lot about the ad rank advantage that you get from bidding on your own brand name. So obviously, there's some instances where maybe some competitors aren't actively bidding on their brand name. So in that scenario, there is no ad rank advantage. Basically, all competitors bidding on that brand name have an equal opportunity to potentially get their ad to show in the first spot there. So that can be something that's worth investigating right off the bat. Essentially, what we're going to do is identify what are maybe the top 5 to 10 competitors that you'd want to bid on. Take a look at pretty common variations like the brand name themselves, maybe brand name and different geo variations and things like that. And if you do this really well, what you can do is actually create unique offers for these or unique landing page experiences to really capitalize on users being exposed to your ad. So one of the best strategies I've seen with this is actually comparison pages. So you see this a lot, especially in the large SaaS companies, so like Salesforce, HubSpot, things like that. They'll bid directly on competitors. When they click on that, they go to this giant comparison sheet. So for law firms, we can do something similar there. Just a very good opportunity to potentially call out what are your unique advantages of working with your law firm versus the competitors that you're bidding on.
And would we say that this is pretty common in this space?
Yeah, I would say, competitor keyword targeting is not a new strategy by any means. So it's very likely if you're an established business in your marketplace, it's very likely that somebody is already actively bidding on your brand name. So we again like to approach this as it's never going to be the leading strategy within your ad account mix, but it's definitely worth looking at. A lot of times, if you do have a better positioning than some of your competitors can be a really great opportunity to steal those customers already interested in a different brand back over to you.
Yeah, I would say probably the thing that's the biggest opportunity in this space is uh, this is leveraged, but the landing pages are pretty ununique. Like there's not a lot of differentiation between their brand landing page, their competitor landing page, their non-brand keyword landing pages. So they're not really getting the benefit of it. A great opportunity is if you're going to be bidding on a competitor's brand name is run a sentiment analysis using like ChatGPT or some AI tool, looking at all of their reviews, and then on the landing page talk about the stuff that you do better than what the reviews they're going to read about that other client are. And you can like literally address if they go to Google and read the reviews of your competitor and they go to your landing page and you talk about the things that they don't do well, you're positioning yourself really well. So there's opportunities here. A lot of this is going to be positioning from a messaging perspective. If you don't do that, it can still work, but it's going to work less well.
That is a deep dive, Tone. We may have to do a whole podcast on leveraging AI. That was awesome. All right, James, we've covered brand, covered competitors. What's next?
Yes. So this is your meat of your ad account strategy. By far, this is going to be your non-brand campaigns. So we'll actually have a podcast talking about campaign structure and do a really big deep dive into what we mean by different strategies within a non-brand campaign build out. But essentially, what you want to do is target your key services that you offer, your key practice areas, and then create different variations based off of user intent, geolocations, and other signals in which you can really pinpoint your strategy to get the best message and best landing page experience in front of users looking for the services that you offer. So when we think about a mix of campaigns within an ad account, the majority of your budget's going to generally be here. This is Tony had alluded to it. Generally going to be your most expensive in terms of a cost per click and cost per lead. Of course, though, these are your hot juicy leads that are looking for help today, and you can build out your non-brand strategy to really capitalize on that demand.
Yeah, 100%. I think what we say in family law is that there aren't a lot of big brands. Like branding hasn't been a massive priority for a lot of family law firms. So people aren't searching by their name to start out with. They're going to start high funnel, divorce attorney near me, family law, Milwaukee. And so if you're not there, you're missing out on a ton of leads for your firm. Tony, I know as we were building Sterling, and thankfully we're to a size now where our brand has gained some steam and built some momentum in our area. But before that, I know you were spending a lot of money on these non-branded keywords.
Yeah, and we still do today. We're to the point though where there's not of our 5 metro areas, there's not a lot of opportunity to continue to expand budgets. And that's typically how we will talk to clients about it, is like, this is pretty low funnel, and if you're doing good conversion tracking that we'll talk about in a later episode, you can get a good ROI on these. If you're not doing good conversion tracking, this might not be doing real well for you, and you might think paid media doesn't work, paid search doesn't work, and you're right, it doesn't work if you do it wrong, like most things in life. Um, so, but at some point, there's diminishing returns. Like, you can't spend a dollar as effectively. And once you get to that point in any marketplace, you then really have two options, assuming your waterfall is healthy and functioning well: is you start investing in brand, or you continue to expand your territories. So non-brand keywords, this is definitely where you're going to start. There's a lot of opportunity to, like James, you were saying, mix the structure of your account by intent, so you can leverage messaging and um, budget opportunities to your advantage.
Love it. Yep, 100%. I think it's what's important as you're listening to this is that there is no silver bullet here. There is a mix of strategies that you have to use in order to grow your law firm. You don't just do brand, you don't just do competitor, you don't just do non-brand. You need a mix because different people are going to find you in different ways, and you have to be visible for them.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a way to think about, should I do non-brand versus brand, is how fast do you want to see your firm grow? So do you want to see a lot of growth more quickly? When investing in brand, you're probably not going to see that because you don't have a lot of notoriety in the marketplace yet. But over time, that's going to become more cost effective um, than your non-brand campaigns, because it's actually going to cost you less, and the staying power of your brand is going to last longer in the marketplace. But it takes a while to get there, and it's not like a while isn't a week or 2 weeks. It's like several months, several iterations of similar message, same brand. They really get to know the look and feel of you, and they can trust you, and that takes time. So it's really do you want to make the investment now and then um, leverage that over time and see kind of growth be pretty slow at the front end but great at the end? Or do you want to grow now and kind of figure out how to balance it through so you can get to that place where you can leverage branding? So there's not a right answer here. It's really a, what are you looking for, is the right question. um, and what results are you looking for, short term and long term, so you can balance it well.
All right, James, final point, which is an interesting one. Gets a lot of heated debate for this. So, dynamic search ads. Give us a little background on what these are, because they're a bit newer, right, to the scene, and how we've leveraged them for law firms.
Yeah, dynamic search ads, I think, are a really great strategy, especially when you're thinking about how to scale your ad account. So effectively, what you do here is you just give Google a URL. You're able to provide it a couple descriptions that you want to use for your ads that will display then. And essentially, Google goes and based off your URL, essentially targets keywords based off of your website or landing page. So it's a little bit more black box. So very similar to a PMAX strategy where you are giving Google a lot of control here. It's definitely not to the same extent of PMAX. Obviously, PMAX also is going to serve on different inventory display, video, things like that. This is unique to search landscape specifically. But where this can be really effective is especially for kind of trying to understand where there might be some keyword expansion or scale opportunities. This is a really good place to look. Here at RocketClicks, we have a pretty built out playbook of keywords that we know perform well for clients. But this is still a strategy from time to time that will be worth running, especially for more mature accounts to where we just want to say, hey, is there any differences in how users are searching right now that we might want to target specifically? That way we can build out then another non-brand campaign or whatever the case may be to then target those keywords that we find performing well in DSA. And then that way we can put specific ad creative landing page and things like that behind it.
So as these middle schoolers grow up and start using Skibbity and Riz and stuff in their search
Right.
queries, that's how we'll find them.
Exactly.
Exactly. Yes, they'll come through here. Yes.
Got it. Good to know.
Which divorce lawyer has the most riz in my neighborhood?
Right.
See, we wouldn't have found that without
No,
this campaign type.
100%.
Yeah, I think the main point here that James you covered well is this shouldn't be really your primary strategy. This is great for identifying and finding ideas that you might not be leveraging. So it's a great gap filler, and then kind of it'll help. Google will do some research for you, and then you can pick out the themes and leverage them more strategically. So it's great. It's great for that. It's great for continuing to scale the account, but this wouldn't be the thing that I would go to first and run solely. Similar to conversations we've had in the past about PMAX, it's not something I would start with and run solely either. Same concept.
Yeah, I think what's important is as you're listening to this, and if you like what we have to say, we are doing a deeper dive onto more complex campaigns and all the things as it relates to paid search for family law firms. But at the end of the day, there's no set it and forget it strategy. If you have an agency or someone telling you, "Oh no, it's fine, don't worry about it," we'll look at it in 2 months. There's money being left on the table, and so just make sure that as you're thinking about your visibility online and how you're leveraging your marketing dollars, that it's done in a way that is consistent, and that there's an eye on the ball as to what's happening within your campaigns. Gentlemen, I appreciate the time. Looking forward to our continued deep dive into paid media for family law firms. If you enjoyed this episode, you will love our next episode on keyword categories. So today we talked about campaign types. Now we're going to dive into the different keyword categories. We're going to break down how to organize your keywords to increase quality scores and lower your cost per leads and speak directly to your clients' needs. You can check that episode out right here.